Yes, you heard it right. It's as big as a battleship. A lot happened in 1957. Russia launched the first artificial satellite, Elvis purchased a mansion in Tennessee, the first frisbee was invented.
This is the way to curve a frisbee.
This is the way to curve a frisbee.
Catch a frisbee.
Catch a frisbee.
And Fred Spears made the giant claw. Probably the most incredible creature to ever grace the silver screen. It is 1945. The war has ended. After the United States bombed Japan came the atomic age. Everybody in the 50s thought the future was nuclear.
This same kind of dirt was made just radioactive enough to register on a Geiger counter.
And that's evident in the entertainment industry. I mean, aside from the Big G himself, just look at how many movies from that era use nuclear radiation as some form of plot device. You'd be here all goddamn day. As a child, I really only enjoyed two things. Those little magnets that went when you threw them together, and giant monsters. My grandfather had shown me the giant claw one evening when I was young, and I thought it was the most hilariously awesome thing ever. Of course, I had to mention the word battleship was probably used more times in this film than you have ever heard or said in your entire life. The puppet itself was actually constructed by a cheap special effects studio in Mexico, but originally the studio wanted him to be stop motion, just like Harryhausen's spectacular stop motion creatures that were all the craze at the time. If you can ignore the absurdity of the monster design and really dated effects, then you've got yourself one campy cult classic. Yeah, just look at him go, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, oh no, there he goes! On the header card here, you get some great looking art of the creature in question. It pretty much gets the job done. It's your standard header card. Believe it or not, it's actually bittersweet to finally have some sort of representation of this bird in my collection. H.O.P Toys delivers with a satisfactory sculpt that is only hindered by one singular thing: the lack of paint. However, I don't believe this is intentional, as every other release in the series is practically the same in terms of variation, and I believe it helps save on costs, which leads me to another point that I ought to make. This guy was fairly cheap. It was a really good idea to have the wings folded down, as he isn't nearly as big as a shelf hog as you'd expect, but I would absolutely love to see them attempt a 12-inch version just so I can give Roman here a buddy to play with. This figure, like the robot monster, was actually larger than I was expecting, and he makes the perfect little desk buddy. Honestly, I think I've said just about as much as I can about this figure without it being a full in-depth review of it, so I invited my good friend Andy, also known as Goodzilla, onto the show to share some of his thoughts on this exclusive Sofubi.
So, I don't actually have this figure. I don't know why Super Goji 74 wanted me to do this, but I'll give it my all, you know what I'm saying? So, the giant claw and giant bird, I don't know if y'all saw, but he's kind of orange. It's like really orange, you know? It's kind of interesting. You don't usually see an orange kaiju, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, basketballs are orange. Speaking of toys, has anyone seen Louis Duran? My friend Louis Duran, I can't find him. I don't know where he went. I'm kind of scared. Last thing he said before he left was, "Ooh, an airplane." So yeah, thank you, Super Goji 74, for letting me on your channel.
And that wraps up the third episode of Pop Culture Showcase. I'm having a lot of fun making these, and I'm learning a lot as I go, but I wouldn't be here without any of you guys. For any new viewers, subscribing takes no more than a few seconds, and it helps out the channel far more than you can imagine. Thank you everyone once again, and I'll see you next time.